Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever wondered why in the society there is rich people and there is poor people? Why there is such a gap between those two classes? And to reach on the rich people, you have to learn some principles, how wealth is created. In this episode, I will talk about 10, 10 principles that could help you create wealth. Stay until the end and find out.
You're listening to the Real Estate Growth Investor Circle Canada with your host, Gob. This is a safe space for immigrants, entrepreneurs, and future investors who are learning, growing, or taking their first steps in real estate. Here, we move with patience, focusing on clarity, confidence, and progress, one step at a time. Each episode is about real conversations, simple explanations, and honest stories from people who started right where you are and didn't give up. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, unsure, or discouraged, you're not alone. This podcast is here to guide, encourage, and remind you that growth is possible. Welcome to Growth Investor Circle to Real Estate Investing in Canada and around the world. Here's Gob.
Hey, welcome back again. This is Gab, your host. In this episode, we will dive in to talk about how wealth is actually created. There is principle, just like everything else in life. If you want to learn something, you have to follow some steps. That is exactly why I am here. This is created by principles. These ones here. I have 10 principles on how rich people create wealth. And these principles, if you learn them, you can start applying them every day in your life. You will be successful. Wealth is created by creating value. That is principle number one. The more problem you're gonna start solving, that is the more wealthier you're gonna become. There is way to solve problems. Back in the days, I didn't know that. I thought like the way you create wealth is by working hard. Working hard is not how you create wealth. Money doesn't create wealth. What creates wealth is the problem solving. That is what creates wealth. For example, one person works Monday to Saturday, sometimes Sunday, and they work on the clock. They don't spend time with their family. They sacrifice everything, but they still stuck financially. They still stuck. Every day's life is hard because they didn't understand what rich people do. They they value time. They value time. They don't value the money. Someone who said time is money, they might be right. They might not be right. Why I'm saying they might be right? Because you gotta know how to use your time to create wealth. I don't know if you guys hear me from that. You have to know how to use your time to create wealth. Time is not equal to money because we are not getting paid equally for our time. If rich people are paid based on their creativity, my friend, that's how you create wealth. Poor guy will be thinking my time equals my paycheck, and a rich guy will think my time equals I'm not getting paid based on the time. I'm getting paid based on my creativity. That is one of the most important lessons to understand. Money itself does not create wealth. What's creating wealth? Many problems you can solve to a larger group of people. That is how people create wealth. I cannot stress enough on that topic a lot because some people are being sacrificing their time, sacrificing their energy, sacrificing their freedom working for someone years and years, sacrificing time and working 9 to 5 every day, but they still stuck because they didn't understand what wealth is created by by solving many problems as you can solve. That is how wealth is created. We're gonna move to the second. Wealth is created by increasing income. What I mean by increasing income, I don't mean I'm gonna go look for another job. I'm gonna go change this job to a next job. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Increasing income can mean I'm doing what I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna try to increase it so I can solve so many problems. I can reach out to many customers. I can increase my ability to solve problems. That is how people create wealth. It's not by looking for the next job and the next job and the next job and the next job and the next job, because that is not what creates wealth. By increasing your or converting so many leads, if you think in a way that many people think, is by converting many leads to customers. That is what creates wealth for you. That is what they say: increase your income by converting many leads to customers. That is how what people use to create wealth. It is creating money does not create wealth, and money is not necessarily made to pay bills. Because many people think money is for paying bills. No, I disagree. The money you work hard for is not probably made to pay bills. Tired of seeing that in the community. I'm tired of seeing people saying, I paying my bill, I get paid, then I pay bills, and then I'm okay. That is not a good mindset, because money is not supposed to be for paying bills. Money is supposed to be to help you improve, get a better person that you were yesterday. That is money. You take your money, save it for things that will create more wealth for you. Take that money, put it into an income, an asset. You can put it there and then continue until you made it. Because if you put it in your bill, of course you're gonna need to survive. Yeah, yes, I agree with you. You're gonna live in a society. You need to pay some stuff. You may have to pay your bill. You may have to do that. But I want to stress you on that. Your paycheck should not be only for paying bills. It should not be only for that purpose. You can manage, you can know how to manage, you can pay some stuff, but you cannot pay everything you earn into bills. You cannot create wealth by paying only bills and go back to job the next day. That is not what I'm saying. You should save at least 10%. We're gonna talk about it at the end of this episode, because I'm gonna talk about this 10% rules that many people have been applying decades and decades. You know, you're gonna have to learn how to use your money. So here we have people get paid and say, "Let me go pay bills." No, your money should be allocated to create income producing assets. Your money should be creating something for the future, your kids, for your family, for your financial freedom, whatever you name it. Your money should be allocated for those purposes, not necessarily for paying bills. Many people in Canada, where I am, understand when I'm saying this. Your money should not be for paying bills, because it was not made for that. So I said creating wealth and is creating. I said here, money doesn't create wealth. What creates wealth is your creativity. That's where I'm coming back again. That is the second principle of creating wealth. And the third one, we are getting there. We are getting there. The third one is spend less than what you earn. That is the third principle here. Spend less that you earn. Many people are spending more. They're matching up their lifestyle. They get paid higher. They get match their lifestyle. That means they're gonna own many cars, many. They're gonna loan many things. They're gonna buy stuff. They're gonna try to impress others. We're not gonna lie. We're gonna lie. Many people living that cycle. Many people are suffering with that cycle right now. They are matching their paycheck to their lifestyle. As I said, you should not spend everything you get, because if you learn this principle of spending less, that means you gotta live a frugal life, always budgeting, always learn how to manage budget so you cannot spend what you don't earn. Because many people are spending what they don't earn, that they don't earn, so they keep. Once they get it, they spend it. Some people, they don't even see their money coming back. They don't see their money. So I would stress you to think about this, because when you get paid, you should be able to keep at least 50% of what you get. You should be able to keep, because creating wealth is learning how to keep, not to spend. That is what it takes to create wealth. I don't know if you understand. If you want to learn how to create wealth, you have to learn how to keep, not to spend. That is one of the little things you can adjust. If you are someone who spends everything they get, start being frugal, start budgeting, start counting your numbers, start by every day when you get something, You count, you write it down. You spend, you write it down. Because what you don't write it down, what you don't write down, it doesn't exist in your mind, in your habit. When you spend and you don't know, some people they just use their card. Let me go to the grocery, just swipe. They go to the movie, they swipe. They go everywhere they go, they just swipe, 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 swipe. The next day, the third, and then end of the week, everything is gone. You don't want to be the one that person. You don't want to be that person who doesn't know how much they earn and who doesn't know how much they spend. That's why budgeting is so important. It's so important than anything. If you can start learning that today, start by knowing where the money goes. Because the purpose of budgeting is to know where is my money go. That is the only purpose of budgeting. There is no magic. There is no people budget because they want to understand how they spend. Because when we live in a country where everything is by card, and I don't see any more people with money or with liquid means working with cash. I don't see, and because everything is on the card. That's why budgeting is so important. It it is the foundation of creating wealth. Knowing where my money goes and the time I get it and the time I spend it, the length of time. It's so important because if you start knowing where your money goes and you start seeing how many times do you have to pay this bill or to get better every day, then you will start seeing the pattern in your habits. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you everything I'm saying is here is based on my personal experience. If you need to learn more about how you manage your finances, you have to look for someone who's experienced in the field. I'm just here to let you know I lived, and what I have experienced, so you can take the next best decision in your. So remember this: don't spend what you don't earn. If you can only leave this episode with that simple of information, you are already on the roof to your financial freedom. You are already started. And remember, small steps every day create what? Small steps in your life. I really wish you understand these three. We already covered three principles. It took me so long to get to understand all these principles I'm teaching. It took me long time to figure it out and understanding each one of them. So you are getting everything here to start creating something valuable, to start building and not. We are moving to the fourth principle. The fourth principle is this: keep the supply. Because once you're gonna start realizing, or you're gonna start seeing that the money you are spending, you used to spend, is not longer because you learn how to budget. You're gonna see, oh, I used to spend this week, but I have enough to live on. I'm no longer eating outside every day. I am budgeting. I am seeing where the money goes. You're going to realize there's going to be enough money coming or staying with you. You are not spending all the money you're getting. So now it's going to create what I call supply. You have supply. My goodness, this guy has now, you know, this guy has saved 20,000 from just learning these three principles we just covered. To finish the month, you have enough money to cover your emergency. And I'm gonna stress you so much on creating an emergency account because you never know. Changes every day. Once you have those supplies, allocate them to your emergency. Emergencies. I'm gonna scream it so hard so you can understand. Emergencies are so important. If you are with me, say emergencies because it is so important to save for your emergency. You never know. Today you could be walking, or your car is damaged, or this and that, or you have to fix this emergency. Emergencies, they always, and they always come. You know what? And the thing to remember about emergencies, they come when you don't expect them to come, when you didn't plan for them. That's when they show up. Hi, I am here. How much money did you save? If you saved zero, then that time you will thank me today for telling you this. It's time to start putting some money away every day. You will start thanking me today by reminding you this. The day you don't plan for emergency, that is the time it shows up. That is the time it shows up. So you have to start planning ahead of. Let's go to our principle number five. Principle number five says by by productive assets. Why I added productive assets? Here there is something that I added productive assets because is not every asset creates wealth. It's better to have assets than having none. But for sure everybody understand that. But every asset doesn't create wealth the same way. Let me give you an example. Someone saves into stocks market. They are earning long term. And someone trades every day. They still building an asset as well. They are not. I'm not against about day traders. I don't have anything against them. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you're trying to create assets, you gotta look for productive assets. And there is many productive assets there. There is many. You just have to find which one works for you so you can start building your future and for the next generation. So I wrote here productive assets could be real estate, could be books, digital products. It could be also stocks. That's what I think is productive assets. Let me in the comment if you know any other productive assets that we can learn. By the way, I'm here always sharing about how you can grow from a lifestyle to a different lifestyle. I teach about, real estate. I teach about financial freedom, growth. All of these are are all my subjects I am passionate about. If you like what I'm sharing and you want to stay connected with me, don't forget to subscribe and to help us creating more content for you for the days to come. Now we are moving to the C principles. They use leverage carefully. Leverage carefully. Because you have to understand when you start creating wealth, when you start building your financial, like I would say, your financial plan, you have to learn how to leverage what you have. Because who knows, tomorrow there will be maybe a crash. Because there always a crash, you know, financial crash. It crashes. With this, like the one happened, we are in a financial crisis here right now in Canada. We are because of financial crisis. It tends to happen. So what it causes a problem in the market. Your inflation goes higher, and your money saved in the bank lose value. Value repeat upon value. So the money lost value because it's saved in an account that doesn't help it to work. Just like a worker, you have to put your money where it can produce more. If you hire a worker and then you put them in one position for so long and they will still working for you, but they're gonna one day ask, I want to grow in the company. I want to grow. I want to be able to learn new things. You should think about your money. You should think the way you use your money as the way you use your employees. Because the money that you put in account, basically in a GIC account, in something that doesn't produce that much value, at the long run, it will be eaten by inflation, and then you might lose the purchasing power. So that's why I say the money saves itself in an account that doesn't allow the leverage to leverage it, it's losing purchasing power. Remember this. This is so important. You have to leverage everything you have. You have to learn how the game of leveraging. Which people really understand that game. They really if you see someone is successful right now, they must be doing this, leveraging. They must be leveraging. No one can be so successful in their life without understanding this. That is number one principle to learn and to understand how you can leverage your money every day. Let's move to the principle number seven. I'm really hope everything we are discussing is touching your heart and is telling you something. I must do something. You are getting those signals in your body saying, I must start thinking about my finances and the way I do it. I want you, when you finish this episode, you know exactly what to do, and you want to start do it every day, steps by step. Every day you are taking steps towards your financial freedom. This episode is dedicated for that, to teach you how you can move from your struggle situation right now to a winner tomorrow. So we are moving to the principle number 7, compounding. Who understands the word compounding? Compounding is something we see into market. Let's say you put your money into a market. Let's say you put into, I would say, you have an account in an index fund. I love index. I love real estate. I love everything. So I just have to let you know that you always gonna compound your money. The interest you get from putting your money into the game, the market, use that same money you get to reinvest it again. Over the time, that creates what I call compound. So you create double than what you earn. Don't spend what you get, because tomorrow you may lose the compounding, because you won't lose it because you're still gonna add. But someone who invests, or someone who learns to invest every day, understand that if I use my investment for other things, tomorrow it will be less than it was today. Somebody understand that. So compounding is what we see into the market. When you are investing, you see compounding. Your money adds up to its compound. I don't know if you understand. I'm gonna go back to this subject in another day episode, because all these principles I will be talking about them deeper into another episode. Don't forget to stay connected so you won't miss any of these when I'm gonna start going deeper. Today I'm just gonna present these 10 principles, and then we will build on them days after day. So here we have compounding. Now we get to principle number 8, which is protect what you have built. Protecting what you have built is also part of the wealth creation. Rich people really understand that protecting what you have is part of wealth creation. Why? Why I'm saying this? Because if you don't know how to protect what you have built, you might lose it. And sometimes many people have lost everything and started from scratch because they didn't learn how to protect what they have. I think many struggles with this. Meaning now the next time you get money, you start like you go back to you start showing off what you have. You start buying many houses. You start looking. You want people to see what you have. Be careful. That can definitely make you lose what you have built. So you have to be frugal all the time. You see the most successful people on the earth. They have a house is not flashy. They know where to keep their money. They know, they understand how to protect what they have built. They sleep and still getting the money circulating. It's still playing, it's still going on. Even if they spend on something that I'm not saying to stay poor when I'm saying about protecting what you have. I'm not saying to live in a shitty home. I'm not saying to be I don't know, to be obsessed with your money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to be more, just learn how to keep what you have and to not spend it on unnecessary stuff. Some people work, they see a good stuff they want, and they say, I will be able to afford these when the time comes. And then save, and once they get what they need, and they say, okay, I'm gonna go now buy that stuff I wanted to buy. That is the first principle. That is the only way to learn how to protect what you. This is very important to understand as well. The ninth principle is to build relationship with people. You need people around you. It's so surprising that I see building relationship with people. It's part of the wealth creation. How is that possible? How is that normal? Me being being building relationship can help me creating wealth. Hmm, something I didn't know. Obviously, I understand that. I start learning this so long ago. Picking your friends, picking wisely your friends, and building relationship with people has something to do with wealth creation. So important to understand because if you have God's plan that doesn't motivate, that doesn't help you grow, they are not going to motivate you get where you want to go. Those are not your friends. You have to stay in a small circle of people you trust and a small circle of people that motivate you, that you guys actually motivate each other to grow. Those are the circle of friends, of relationship you want to keep. I'm not saying to hate everybody, but know who you can build relationship with and grow because it's part of the game of creating wealth. Building relationship, it's so important in wealth creation. Principle. The more people you know, the better and the more valuable people you know, the closer to your financial freedom. So important building relationships with people. Don't ruin your bridges because you don't know the person who's there today, and they might be the person who will save you tomorrow. Always remember that. Build good relationships with people. It's part of the game of the wealth creation. It's the nine principles. Now we are moving to the last and the least principle of all the time is to think long term. Thinking long term is so important. It's even said in scriptures. What is short term don't last. What is long term lasts forever. If you are someone who cut corners, if you are someone who doesn't have the patience for long term, you have to develop that discipline of thinking long term. You have to develop the discipline of aiming for a greater. So, because sometimes people lose that patience of sticking. It's like I'm gonna give you. It's like I will pay you $10 when you can get $100. But $10 you see it right now. But $100 is coming in the long term. So you have always to think long term if you want to build wealth. I will leave you with that. For the next time we'll talk, we'll bring more episodes and more information about wealth creation. Thank you for listening to me. It's your host Gab. See you next time.